Hey friends, I just stuck the hardest move of my climbing career. And after more than 100 attempts, I have some great insights to share with you so that you can send the hardest moves of your climbing career. When it comes to comp climbing, the thing that I most often hear at the gym is, oh, that looks impossible. And that makes sense because the moves kind of are impossible. I think that the essence of comp climbing is that it blends multiple moves together into single seamless moves. And because of that, when the move is actually executed, it looks really unfamiliar to moves that we would encounter on a normal bouldering problem. But we can break down those complex movements into their subcomponents, and in time, we can execute impossible movements. And today, I want to introduce some of these steps to you so that hopefully you can use them in your own climbing. These volumes are super slick, and anybody who's tried to even get established on them says the same thing. Oh, it seems impossible to even start. Actually moving anywhere with one finicky left-hand crimp doesn't really bode well, especially when you need to make a huge dynamic move to a hold that's facing the wrong way. And on this climb, the arete is off.
That sign can't stop me because I can't read.
I spent about an hour trying to get this move to go. And when it finally did, I realized it was gonna probably be impossible to send this without the arete. I was at the wall for a few hours and I actually saw a complete stranger send this climb. So now I knew what to do. I had to do the impossible move because the impossible move was possible, but making it possible required a little bit more of a nuanced touch. So what I started to do was break it down into its subcomponents. First, I began practicing it with my left foot on the ground and my left hand on the mantle. This helped me learn how to latch that hold and control the swing so that I could eventually string all of these moves together. After I had that down, I started focusing on just hitting the mantle so that I could get the mantle in the very right spot. So in my first day of dedicating a lot of effort to it, I actually managed to hit the hold and kind of get the swing out. But I figured that after a few hours of effort, my body was probably spent. That evening when I got home, I started reviewing the footage and I saw that I had made close to 90 attempts in the first day. I was really proud of myself because perseverance through failure is honestly the hardest part of bouldering and the hardest part of learning anything new. If you take nothing else away from this video, let it be that everybody who you see do things that seem seamless and impossible, practice those things in small components for a really long time. And when you see competition climbers seamlessly execute these moves on boulders that they're trying for the first time, that's coming from hours and hours and hours of failure. And they're just combining the small components that they've practiced again and again and again into a new piece of creative movement for their body using a language that they've already studied and know well. So I did my whole post-workout and recovery routine. I got up super early to make it to the gym and my body was sore. And as I started working on it, unfortunately, it seemed just as impossible as it did the previous day. I didn't feel like I had made any progress, except for one thing. Everything that I had rehearsed the previous day now felt very fluid to me. I felt like I could execute it in a seamless flow of movement. But when I recorded myself and watched the video, I realized one thing was really off, and that was my left leg. I didn't realize that I had kind of neglected the left foot, which was gonna pull me away from the wall and make the problem impossible. But I had all the other components dialed, so I was able to notice this one thing and then address it. I told myself that I was gonna move my left foot from its starting hold towards the lower left volume. There was one other thing I told myself, which was keep it in rhythm. I wanted to treat this series of movements the way that I would treat a melody in singing or in playing guitar. Even though I wasn't able to execute the last move of this climb yet, I'm incredibly happy that I landed this impossible move. I've always been fascinated with these mantle dead points, and now I feel like I understand how to execute them for when I see them again in the future. What I hope you take away from this video is threefold. The first is don't be afraid to try things that seem impossible at first. Be willing to fail often, and be humble enough to break things down into smaller parts. And speaking of humility, Don't be afraid to ask other people for help. Honestly, without this stranger's help, I wouldn't have ever been able to send this climb. I actually just sat there in between attempts and analyzed their video to see what I could do differently and what I could do better. And the last one is be proud of yourself for getting moves. Climbing isn't just about sending climbs. Climbing is about getting more and more difficult moves. So that's it, 100 attempts to get a single move. I hope that in my next video, I'll get a chance to show you what the full climb looks like. Until then, if you're resting, rest well. If you're training, try hard. And if you're climbing, have fun. Thanks so much for checking out the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. So I just finished editing the video, but I've made some huge progress on that climb. The only thing left to do is match my hands, and then it's done. This is a new channel, so if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe and leave me a comment. I'm a new YouTuber, so leaving a comment is a huge encouragement since I just spend a lot of time talking to my camera alone in my apartment. So it'd be nice to have human interaction. Thanks so much for checking it out. I hope that you'll like the video and subscribe. Thanks.